All right, clear. What's going on, everybody? This is Chris Classic. Excuse me. Just got off of work and I'm just very tired, man. I'm exhausted, man. With a lot of stuff that's going on, certain things for the shows and everything, I am just truly exhausted. Very exhausted. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Everybody tells me that God loves you, Christ loves you, and I love you as well. I'm praying for you guys. And guys, hopefully you guys are praying for me. Make sure you subscribe to the Take It Home podcast, where I talk about professional wrestling topics, and I put up my matches as Classic Alpha, a professional wrestler of 13 years. You get to see the matches, you get to see me vlogging, you get to see a lot of stuff. Rent Syndicate in the building. What's going on, Robert Brown? Lafayette, Indiana in the building. What's happening? Rent Syndicate. Don't start our Sean. Do not start Rent Syndicate. Please block War Games. In the midst of me being tired and very sleepy, trying to drive home. Make sure you also subscribe to C3 Ultimate Wrestling. Me and my wife's professional wrestling company, we're getting ready for another show next year called Big Business, B-I-G, business, named after the B-I-G and the 313 and the C3 Ultimate Wrestling Champion, Joseph Ira Credit. The show was so big, we got 2 flyers, so you guys can look at both flyers on the C3 Ultimate Wrestling page. One of them is a tribute to Detroit Pistons, and then the other one is the Detroit Lions. 2 teams from Detroit that make big things, do big things and stuff like that. And Detroit, folks from Detroit, they love their city, so make sure you look at that. I am tired and I am dozing off, but not in the physical sense. Just the sense of I'm tired of War Games. And you know what, Sean? Please stop. Please. C3 Ultimate War Games. I'm sick of War Games, y'all. Hey, look, if y'all been on the channel, y'all already know I am so sick of War Games. I'm tired. Bring back the 5-on-5 elimination style, or bring back brand supremacy. Please bring it back. Don't look. If y'all don't want to do the 5-on-5 random stuff and all of that, do the brand supremacy. Do WWE, do Raw versus SmackDown, or NXT versus. Do something. I'm sick of this War Game. I'm sick of looking at 2 rings. I'm sick of looking at 2 War Games matches. I'm sick of looking at the singles matches having to wrestle in 1 ring. I'm sick of all this mess, man. I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. They need to take a break from War Games. It started, y'all did tributes to Dusty and all of that stuff because of the NWA and the WCW days. Then y'all was doing this on NXT. Then y'all was like, you know what? Let's shift this to the main roster. And it has overstayed its welcome. We're about to do what? The 5th one or the 4th one? The 4th year of War Games. I think it's the 4th year. It's the 4th year of War Games. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Just like Blood and Guts that they be doing, I'm sick of that too. I'm sick of cage matches at this point. I'm sick of cage matches where people just doing stupid stuff just so people can say, holy ass, and this is awesome. Because most of the time it's not. Io Sky just jumps off the cage almost every time, and people love it because, like, that's her spot. As talented as she is, and a greater wrestler and athlete she is, that's the only reason why she's in the War Games. Speaking of that, Io Sky has been in every iteration of War Games since it started for the females. Every one of them. When it was on NXT, she was in that one. And then for the ones in WWE, she's been in all 4. She has been in every female War Games match. Every single one. Jey Uso has been in every male War Games for WWE. Come on, man. Y'all know why she in there. She about to do something crazy. She don't need to, but my question is this. Why do you need that much war on your body? Why do you need to do War Games every year? Every year? Io Sky just be ready for war. Jey Uso, main event Uso and stuff. He's been on both sides of the coin. Both of them have, good and bad, on certain teams and stuff like that. To me, that's just a lot of times to be on War Games. War Games, to me, should be like a one and done thing, in my opinion. Like I said, Sami Zayn, he's been in 3. Bianca's been in 3. Rhea Ripley has been in 3. If Sami Zayn becomes a partner, somehow gets into the match, he'll be in all of them from the WWE forefront. Still, like, to me, I'm just not big on that. I'm doing great. I hope everything's fine with you. Still, I'm just tired of it. I like, make it go back to NXT or something. Like, do something, do brand supremacy. And I know that they've like sprinkled Survivor Series stuff, the brand supremacy, they've sprinkled it with like crown jewels. So now the Raw champion goes against the SmackDown champion and they all clash for a belt and stuff like that. And they don't really do like elimination style tags. Like, they don't really do those like that anymore. I understand all of that stuff, but man, I'm just sick of War Games. Because to me, like, what made Survivor Series very fun was that it was random people sometimes teaming up together. Why is the Warriors teaming up with Stone Cold? Like, why is this kind of stuff? Why is the Warrior teaming up with this person? Like, to me, I do like that. Like, to me, it's like a random thing. And I think that's what kind of throws me off with War Games, is that, well, shout out to you from Turkey. I think the thing is they try to incorporate a story into something instead of it just being random. And it just doesn't hit well. It doesn't hit well trying to put history in this, because if you try to do that, you can tell me that EO is just at war with all of these people. You know, I get it, and I love the randomness, but then I don't love the randomness at the same time. I think because I don't like the match. I don't even think that I don't like the match. It's just that y'all do it too much. And now that makes me not like the match. Like, what else can you do in November? What else can you do? So, for the women's side, it's Lash Legend, which I'm happy that she is up on the main roster. Shout out to her. Her strike to EO looked phenomenal. Her, Jax, Asuka, and Kairi Sane, and I believe they're probably going to have one more person. They're going to go against Rhea, who has, you know, she's back with the nose guard. Io Sky, the MVP of it all. Charlotte and Alexa. And then obviously they're going to have one more person. It may be AJ Lee for the good side, and on the bad side it could be Becky. Who knows? Who knows? But, you know, Rhea came out and she's beat up a lot of the women because they was beating up the good gals and said War Games, and then people went crazy. They just went crazy for it. Yeah. As a person who just said, you know, Survivor Series stuff used to be so random, this is more random than random. So, okay, yeah, Rhea's teaming with Charlotte, who basically she has a beef with because they always try to one-up each other and stuff like that. And then, you know, Alexa is frenemies with Charlotte. And I know they just lost the women's tag belts and stuff like that. And, you know, Io and Rhea, they're like best friends and stuff because they've been wrestling each other and facing each other for a lot of the time of 2025. And they're going against Lash, who's teamed with Nia, which I do like, by the way, and against Asuka, with Asuka and Kairi Sane, who just been beating up and bullying people. I guess a traditional Survivor Series match would have been just as fine. It would have been just fine. And this is the thing about, oh, well, the women can do it too. Now I get twice as tired. I get twice as fast. I get tired because it's like, oh, I got to get ready for another War Games match. And it's not to say that that they're going to do the same thing, but they kind of do the same thing. Honestly, you know, when you do these Money in the Banks and Royal Rumble matches and all of this stuff, and it's like, okay, well, they are the same basically a lot of times. So Royal Rumble matches, they're like an hour long for each one, and the Money in the Bank thing, the situation, it just gets crazy. Why don't you just make it into like a special like match for a show or something? I don't think you need to have like a whole theme around it. That's just my opinion. Good afternoon. Rhea get her face busted every year now. She is always getting, yeah, man, for real. Kabuki and the Bully Warriors. Basically, the Bully Warriors. I actually like that. But still, it's like, to me, at one point, you have to preserve your body. And I know that these women is 30. Some of them are just hitting the 30 and stuff. They're still fairly young, but still, I don't think EO needs to be wrestling at a War Games every year. And it's not well, women shouldn't do this and women shouldn't do that. Just slow down. You're a veteran wrestler now. Like, especially in the WWE, people love you and stuff. You don't need to do this stuff, man. Just do a traditional Survivor Series match. Just bring it back. Please bring it back. I know you're not going to, but please bring it back. On the men's side, we have the Vision so far, which is Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, the Bronze, and Logan Paul against CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and Jey Uso. Now, we do know that Cody is the undisputed champion and CM Punk is the world heavyweight champion on Raw, whatever. You know, and Jey Uso, he been like, all right, bet, I'm going to turn up and I'm going to do this stuff. So, like I said, it's never a good thing to have two champions on one team, and if they lose, regardless of how they lose, it's just, you know, so I expect them to win because y'all are the champs of both respective brands. So, to me, you know, like even when Nia and Liv, they lost last year in that horrible women's War Games match. And remember, shout out to Arshawn. Arshawn was like, hey man, you sure that match was okay? Because I said it was okay at first. And then I looked back at it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is hot garbage. It was hot garbage. But still, it's not a good aesthetic to have both of your world champions on one team in a losing effort. It's just not. Especially if it doesn't equate to them eventually losing the belts or some kind of character change, which is probably wouldn't even happen at all. Yeah, Roman Reigns is dope. Shout out to you. War Games should have a prize or something. Something. Like, at least if you are going to make it a storyline, hey, the winners get, I don't want to say cash, because they're obviously getting money. The winners get a title shot or anytime or something. Do something interesting with it. You ain't gotta always be like, oh, well, you know, we just got to beef with each other. Because it's like, Jay should be upset that he's teaming with two champions and stuff. Mind you, one of the guys who won the championship beat him for that belt that he had before. So now, you know, most likely he could be the wild card in it. You know, they CM Punk called for William Regal and said, hey, Regal. And Regal said, War Games! And people went crazy. So now it's two more people on each team because it's only three. So I would assume Drew would join the Vision and Logan Paul. Logan Paul's involvement in it, obviously he's going to do something crazy off the top rope. I don't know who else is going to be involved. I don't know if there's going to be returns and stuff like that. And even in the women's side, I don't know if Bianca's going to return and the good. I don't care for this match, man. I don't care for this match. I'm so tired of it, y'all. I'm so tired of it. Just tired. Just need something else. Just need something else with it. And it's just like, you know, it is what it is. Well, Dean Ambrose, I don't think Dean Ambrose, who's also known as Jon Moxley, I definitely don't think that he'll return. If he does return, it'll be like to induct the Shield in the Hall of Fame, because you know they're going to be in it, or if they do like a one-off where Roman and Seth are getting beat up by somebody, and then all of a sudden he comes out. But no, I think with Moxley, Moxley's wrestling has gotten worse since going to AEW, because he can do anything he wants to. He can bring up stuff. He can do things that he wants to. And I don't think that he should be one of those ones. I don't think the Death Rider storyline was good. I don't think it made anybody better. I don't think it helped the business as a whole. I just felt like he wanted to do some stuff with his friends, and they was like, okay, we'll let you do it because he is the heart and soul of AEW. He is the heart and soul. But like I said, somebody should have told him no, because honestly, it is what it is. You know what? I would do make one team with champs, other team number one. That's a good point too. And even then, I know I said like Survivor Series stuff used to be random, but that's how it used to be at one point. Okay, all the champions are cool because they're champions and stuff. Usually if they're like the bad guys and gals, usually, okay, well, I'm the bad guys and stuff. We looking down on y'all because we the champions. We already at the top of the mountaintop. So we ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Y'all can just go somewhere. Y'all can back and give us 50 feet. You know what I'm saying? It used to be like that. Something sort of like that. Not all, but sometimes. Now it's like, okay, well, let's just team together because justice. as a superhero, classic alpha, justice. Like, I don't. That's what we're doing. We're just doing it for justice. Like, to me, make it mean something, because if whoever loses, there is nothing that's going to grow from that. and it is a pessimistic take. Like, you know, I don't know if any feuds are gonna get from that. I don't know if Jay's gonna turn on Punk and them, and then Punk is gonna feud with Jay. If that happens, it's just gonna be a Drew McIntyre situation where Drew is doing all of this stuff and it's good TV stuff, but then it's just losing at the end of the day. Nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it. I like the Death Riders now that they don't have a belt. I ain't been interested in it. If they're better without a belt, then that's horrible that y'all wasted time having a belt. Like, it was bad enough. Regardless if you are trying to bring prestige into the belt or whatever like that, you should never like deface a belt. You should never like put the belt in the bag. Now, I'm saying this as a big fan of NWO, where they spray painted NWO on the title and stuff. Now, I was like, at first I didn't like it, but it made sense. But still, putting it in a duffel bag. Hey, go on and get your champion, little duffel bag, boy. Hey, go on and get your belt, you little duffel bag, boy. Get money. I ain't never ran from a contender, and I dang sure ain't about to pick the day to start running. Look, honey, I ain't never ran from a contender. But, all right, but still, sorry. My bad. I went too far. But still, if they're interesting, good. Because like I say, I still don't understand the end game of them. Like, they were supposed to take over the company, but then you work with the people who own the company. I don't know what the end game was. I truly do not know what the end game was. But it is what it is. It definitely is what it is. Class favorite finisher is no, that is yours, Candace LeRae. The Poison Pixie. Amber, my favorite finisher that I used to like to see is the Tombstone Piledriver by the Undertaker. Or even Kane's. I thought the Tombstone was like a very good move. I know a lot of people give flack to John Cena with the attitude adjustment, but I actually like it. It's a simple move. I like the name, the attitude adjustment. I remember when he used to call it the FU, because, you know, he was feuding with Brock Lesnar, whose move was the F5, and then he said his move was called the FU. But I think the attitude adjustment with the RKO is good. Certain spears, not everybody's spears are good. Jackhammer by Goldberg, one of my favorite finishers. I kind of molded my finisher off of that. So, no, it's definitely not the Candice LeRae. It's definitely not. That is you, the Poison Pixie Mist. But still, I don't care about no dang War Games, man. Like, I'm more curious about what other matches are going to happen. Because now you have two of your champions, your world champions. They're teaming together. They're not defending the title. They're not doing nothing. So I know Stephanie is free. Stephanie is probably going to face Nikki Bella, who turned on her for whatever reason. Because, you know, Stephanie was trying to help Nikki from getting beat up. And then all of a sudden, Nikki turns around and stupid stuff. Jade, whatever they're going to do with Jade, I'm curious to see. I know Jade is going against B-Fab. Curious to see what their Jade, who she's going to face, because most likely those two women will defend the titles. Who knows? What's going on, Europe? Shout out to Europe. Shout out to y'all in Europe. It's all love over here. Welcome to the Second Home Podcast. Man, in the National House of Professional Wrestling. It's still IHOP, but still, I'm not big on War Games anymore. I think they overstayed their welcome. Like, they overstayed the welcome. And you'll be like, oh, well, they only do it once a year. But the fact is, they do it once a year for 2 matches. So you're getting 2 War Games matches each year. It doesn't become special anymore. It does. To me, you lose the aura and the special. Like, I was already sick of blood and guts matches on AEW, and they was already doing once a year. But now they're promoting that the women about to do a blood and guts match. So I should be excited. The cage matches used to be such a special thing. I think that's one of the reasons why, like, Drew and CM Punk at Bad Blood is like one of the best feuds in a while and matches in a while, because of the magic of the Hell in a Cell match. And I believe that was the only match that had a Hell in a Cell thing. I could be wrong. Maybe that's why I like it so much. I think it was the only one that used the Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. I think it was. I'll have to look at it and then we'll speak about it. But still, Becky gonna lose the title after War Games. Hey, that'll be crazy if Maxine beat her. because Maxine definitely still needs some work in the ring. She has improved, but still. Excuse me, phone. This person keeps calling. Still, Stephanie beats Nikki and the snoozer. I'm not excited about that neither. But at least we never seen it before. Nikki is okay. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and say she's like terrible, but she's okay. And I do think that, like, the way some people be like, okay, well, they're pioneers and stuff. You know, I made a video about it, and it's like, it wasn't to be like disrespectful. I'm sure people took it that way. It wasn't to be disrespectful, but it was just like, to me, I just think that they was just there. They were popular and they were there. Like, what did they contribute to wrestling? Like, besides like outside stuff for them that they benefited from. You know, they benefited because who they was dating, who they was getting married to and stuff. But it was just like, you know, Nikki beating AJ Lee and having the longest Divas Championship run. Well, how did that help women's wrestling? Like, you know, not sitting here saying like they were pioneers. I just think, sure, were they important? Sure. Pioneers? Nah. And her coming back, and I also think a thing that leaves a sour taste in people's mouth is that, like, Nikki and Brie, they've talked bad about WWE, saying WWE needs to do this and they need to do that. You would have thought they was never coming back. Well, Nikki, Brie hasn't been back. I don't think Brie's coming back, but Nikki, she's been back wrestling. Like, you was just talking trash about it. I was just happy about not calling ourselves the Bella Twins. I was calling ourselves the Garcia Twins because that was y'all last name. And then all of a sudden, you can look, but you can't touch. Like, all of a sudden, it just comes out of nowhere, and it's just like, you were just talking bad. And my thing is this, you may have gripes, and you may not like WWE, but don't talk bad about it, and then try to show up, and then they're giving you time. They're promoting you as a Hall of Famer. They're saying, you know, you should go against the champions and the main eventers. I ain't looking forward to no match between her and Stephanie Vaquer, because I feel like Stephanie Vaquer got to, you know, follow her lead. And I think Stephanie should be the one that's leading because she's the champion. My thoughts and my thoughts alone. 2 War Games matches, exactly. Drew versus Punk Hell Cell was very good. Punk gave GGS with a chain around his knees. Yeah, it was good. Like, to me, it was a blood feud, a true blood feud. These dudes literally fought. They made a bracelet with AJ's name and CM Punk's dog Larry bracelet. They made it seem like it was a title. I'm gonna make a video about that too. They made that bracelet, that little piece of jewelry, one of the most prestigious titles next to the Ulafala that wasn't a title. Honestly, they did great with it. AEW is better than WWE. To each their own. Both of them got stuff they need to work on, in my opinion. I'd rather watch WWE than AEW. AEW doesn't really do much for me. WWE is hanging on by a thread. But to each their own. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Dean. Blood and Guts is better than War Games. Once again, to each their own. I don't care for neither one of those matches, respectfully. If you enjoy it, that's cool. Me, I need to see something else. I need show me something else. But still, going back into the situation, yeah, man, it is what it is when it comes to the War Games thing. I know a lot of people like it, they get excited, and me, compared to thousands and probably millions of people who want to see it, obviously they're going to lean more towards the people that are excited for these kind of matches and stuff like that. I always grew up, even when I used to play video games, I was a fan of like tornado tag matches and Survivor Series style matches where you eliminate people. I was always a big fan. So when they took that aspect away from it, because Survivor Series is one of their oldest pay-per-view / PLEs. It's like one of the oldest ones. So when they took that away and turned it to War Games as a tribute to Dusty, I was like, okay, cool. You see it 1 year. All right, cool. That was fun. Next year. Okay, you see it again. 3rd year. All right, now can we go back? 4th year. Oh, man. This is going to be the new wave of Survivor Series, isn't it, Squibble? Yes. As for Classic in his house, they will say, no, we will not. We will not show War Games. No, we're not doing the War Games stuff. ECW, it's not gonna happen. And that's another thing about ECW. I'm gonna say this too, sidebar, is that a lot of people loved it, but at the same time, they didn't love it enough to support it financially. And Paul also was a bad businessman as far as ECW is involved. There are people that are still mad at him to this day because he owed them so much money. And he used to scam and used to shice stuff because he used to try to get stuff. So yeah, Paul is one of the greatest minds in wrestling. As far as owning the company, giving them the keys to it, nah, fam, I'm good on that one. You know, and I think even with AEW tried to bring back the feel of the Attitude Era and ECW, and I think that like a lot of the fans have turned away from it because one, they're older, and two, they probably no longer watch wrestling anymore. So when you try to do that kind of stuff and then turn around and be like, oh, family-friendly prices, but it's not family-friendly content, so who cares? I'm sure OFs are probably family-friendly prices too, but they ain't meant for no kids to watch. Just saying. What are your views about Cena winning the Intercontinental? I mean, he's a Grand Slam champion. I do feel like he'll probably lose it to Dom again. I mean, he'll lose it to Dom somehow. I don't know. Does he have like 2 matches left? So he could probably go against Dom and then lose it. And then just to say he a Grand Slam. You know, the match was okay. The only thing I didn't like was that Dom's finishes is a frog splash. And he hit John Cena with a frog splash. He hit him with the frog splash. Mind you, that's his finisher. He hit him with a frog splash, and John Cena just rolled back and picked him up for attitude adjustment. So you mean to tell me that John Cena was getting beat up, he could take a frog splash, or a grown man jumping off the top rope, frog splash, rip it, and he just rolled, he just picked him up like it was nothing. Oh, thank you for the frog splash. However, here come this attitude adjustment. It is what it is. Congrats to him. Like I said, you know, they could have did this for the most, not the Intercontinental part, but they could have did this kind of run since he said he was going to retire, because him going to the dark side was so dumb. Because, and it was dumb because it wasn't that it was a bad idea. It just was poorly executed. It was poorly executed. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Poorly executed heel run, and then now, you know, we just love John Cena, and I think that's what was wrong with WWE. It was like, we're going to do anything we want to do because everybody's going to buy and watch John Cena's last match, so it don't even matter. We can throw boo-boo on the wall and say John Cena will face it, and then people will pay for tickets to see John Cena facing that thing going down the wall. That sounds disgusting, but you guys know exactly what I mean when I say that mess. Dom and Jay are the same guy, but he'll basically. That's actually a good observation. Basically, yeah. So Dom chewing gum is Jay's face twitch, or when he do this, or when Jay be doing this, like think, Mark, think. You got that Winnie the Pooh, think. But nah, still, what's going on? Welcome to the chat. But still, I'm not big on war games, and just I probably won't be for a while. I do think that they need to like do something else. Like at this point, do something else. I don't know if I'm just cranky at that. I don't know because I'm drinking water. I don't see water, y'all. I'm not drinking pop. I didn't drink pop. Did I drink a pop today? That's a shame. I gotta remember. No, I had some tea. But still, war games. But yeah. I'm actually here. I'm waiting on how to get my kids, but I guess we can speak about some small stuff. Jay head pat is not mustache. Yep, I think that's a better comparison. I did want to speak more about the West Side Gun thing real quick. So after I made the video, I found out that this dude had a big billboard for his album, and it was Virgil and the $1 Million Man, like a huge billboard in New York. What was you doing, bro? What was you doing? If they was already sending cease and desist and stuff like that, and they was telling you to put that stuff down, you should have put it down. You saying that you spent $5,000, like I said, I hope you got that $5 back. I guess you was like, since I'm spending all of this money, that even though that they want me to stop using their images, I'm going to be okay to come to this wrestling company. Mind you, you're using their footage and their likeliness and IPs for your album, as if people who buy the album, you're sending it to them. That's not happening. And even then, you sitting here saying, respectfully, I spent $5,000 and spent all of this, that, and all that. That's okay, cool. They've been getting that kind of money. So you being like that is crazy. And then he did switch his album cover to another independent wrestler who he was happy about. I wish he would have did that in the first place instead of me. I'd be like, dang, I'm in second place, man. Like he said that he was doing tributes to these people. But my thing is this. You probably do have access to somebody to say, hey, could I use these two people? You know, WWE sometimes don't mind it, but at the same time, that's their stuff. That's their videos. That's their pictures and stuff. Everybody got a price. Everybody got to pay. Exactly. Bro, just read the chat. What are you saying? Thank you. Wrench Syndicate. Before I can even finish anything else, Wrench Syndicate got that man up out of there. Pack him up. Pack him up. Pack him up. Because $1 Million Man. Yeah, like, everybody got a price. Money, 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 money. You should have said permission, 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 permission. And people are like saying, like, people are always saying, like, oh, well, WWE is petty for that because they should have just let him do it because he's a WWE fan. Were they really petty or were they protecting their properties? Like, y'all probably, if y'all were creatives, right, or y'all had something, or y'all had some kind of thing, somebody uses it or take a picture of it and start selling it and stuff with your stuff on there, y'all be upset too. So just because WWE is successful and they have a lot of money and they're making a lot of money and breaking a lot of records, they should just be okay with it because somebody is using their stuff. Mind you that they've been trying to get them to not use. Like, did we not speak about how all of these people made like parody versions of Kane and they were sending cease and desist to people? We just talked about that. So even though Westside Gunn is a WWE and a wrestling fan, and he said he's see, and this is the thing I also thought. Like when I read his post, it was like you flexing, and it's like, don't nobody care about you flexing. Like you're like, oh, I spent $5,000 to come to this spot. I done went to the hotel. I give so much love to WWE, to wrestling, and all of these companies, and people don't like me. They don't like to see a black man with chains. They don't like to see that. Pick a number, bro. Pick a number. Like, okay, cool. You thought because you did something without asking them that they was just gonna be okay, and then you was like, you know what? Let me spend $5,000. And then he said his heart was broken. That's unfortunate. It's truly unfortunate. I know he got his own company and stuff, but it's unfortunate to be kicked out of a spot. They said the show started at 8. He was out at 8:03, probably in the parking lot by 8:05. That's crazy. But at the same time, I feel like it was a sense of entitlement on his part when it comes to how they treated him. I felt like it was definitely a sense of entitlement. Like, okay, because I spent this money, I should be able to use this kind of stuff. Like, y'all should be cool with that. And I'm like, no, that's furthest from the truth. When you have money and IPs and stuff like that, you got to ask people for that. You can't just be like, I'm going to just do it because I'm a wrestling fan. There's a lot of channels. Even now, there's channels that had like a lot of wrestling content, WWE videos and stuff. They no longer have videos because WWE put them with a copyright strike. That's a possibility. Like, you've had popular channels. People have over 100,000 subscribers and stuff like that. As soon as you put like 6 seconds of their video and stuff without a clearance, they could try to stop you for that. WWE is horrible now. I haven't watched since 2012. He's saying Rock ain't coming back after that. The Rock shouldn't come back, honestly. If The Rock is going to disrespect the company that his family has eaten off of and people looked out for him, he definitely shouldn't come back. And I mean that, but that's on them. He's part of the board, literally, the TKO board, you know, I still, like, the way he's throwing a hissy fit. He's been throwing a hissy fit for the past 2 years. He's been exposing them. Oh, well, Cody's going to be healed. When people said they didn't like WrestleMania, oh, well, I didn't like it really neither. And I didn't show up because there wasn't a need and I didn't like nothing. Exposing everything, throwing a hissy fit. Like, even WrestleMania 40, he threw a hissy fit because people kind of didn't want to see The Rock and Roman. I low-key did. But still, he was like, oh, well, I felt like this was the best thing to do. Exposing the business. He don't need to come back. He don't need to come back. Get your Hall of Fame ceremony and then that's it. He's staying upstairs. WWE's been structuring shows better for the TV last. That's what I've been hearing. I've been looking at like some of the clips and it's looking like it's good. I mean, You should want people to want to consistently pay for the product and want to see it. You know, just saying. Man, you haven't watched this 2012. I mean, I've been watching this since I was a kid. I've been watching this since it was bad and good at the same time. I've given other companies chances too, like the TNAs and the AEWs and stuff. I've given a lot of companies chances and stuff. So yeah, I've definitely been like looking at it for a while. So you know, if I ever get to a point to where I stop watching it, I'll let everybody know. Cody is born, Roman is born, Seth Rollins is born. I like Roman. I like Seth. Cody's run is boring. I think with him, I think he's done everything. So to me, when you do everything, people are going to start booing you and they're going to start getting tired. Like eventually people are not going to say, wow. They're going to be saying, no, please go somewhere. Commercials don't feel as intrusive. Yeah, I had watched, when I was watching Raw on Netflix, I was like, oh man, I had went somewhere. I thought the ad was going to take so long, but it didn't really take that long. So still, maybe they're doing something better. I heard they have allegedly new writers and producers. Maybe they actually care about the product and want the product to thrive. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that kind of stuff happens, but we'll see. But yeah, the West Side Gun thing is a little crazy. We spoke about the two women, Nixon Newell and Miranda. They went live on Twitch and they were speaking about the situation. And like I said, the situation sounds a lot worse than the allegations. And it's like, to me, to be like, oh, well, 3 minutes, that's not enough time to like do anything. It's just like, you want to be up out of there, don't you? And I also heard that Nixon, this is like either this year or next year, it's her final year in wrestling. She may not shoot. This may be her final year, the way she was acting and stuff like that. Like to me, it's like you were contracted. Like you're not working for them. So for you to try to low key politic and be like, oh, well, this don't make sense and stuff like that, I wouldn't book you. Because you're saying this out of your mouth. You're saying this don't make sense and this and that and all of that stuff. And it's just like those kind of takes, that kind of craps on the business a little bit, because you've had wrestlers who are main eventers and Hall of Famers losing seconds and minutes and stuff like that. And for you to be like, this don't make sense, you know, power to you. I don't want Cody Hill. I just want him to be a face with some edge. They tried it, but I don't think they doing right. Oh, he DDT Drew on the title with a DDT. Well, he hit a DDT on the title with Drew's head. And then he got DQ'd and stuff. But it's like, we just need something. It's, you know, it's a trope to speak about his father now. We don't need that no more. To me, if you are going to tease something like that, do it different. Like, do something. Still. It's like, even him being heel, I don't even think it'll be as interesting. I think he needs... Drew should have had the title, y'all. Drew should have had the title. Drew should have won the title, and then Cody would have had his edgy thing. Now, Cody would do anything to get this belt back. Have an I Quit match. Do something. First Blood. Do some kind of match or something to give him an edge. Him beating almost everybody. Him beating almost the entire locker room did him no service now. They have made Seth. The thing is, Cody doesn't have a top rival like Stone Cold Rock Hogan. His top rival was Roman, but him and Roman not doing nothing no more. That was a top rival. He had like good like feuds with like AJ and Brock and stuff, but still, like he's had like multiple matches with these people, but still, one second. But yeah, it's like he's had like small feuds and stuff. But Roman and Seth, I'll say Seth. Him and Seth had great matches when he returned to WWE. But after that, it's like we know that he's going to win. And that's what he's been doing. He's been winning consistently. He's only had a few losses, even for like Roman at WrestleMania 39. He lost to Brock one time. He passed out from the armbar. He just lost to Seth. He lost to Solo in a non-title match. Like, you could kind of remember when he lost non-title matches. He lost to Cena at WrestleMania. They have made Seth. They made Seth the Clown. Seth was very good when he was called the Architect. I actually think that Seth was pretty good with almost every iteration of what he did. Honestly, the Vision is all right. Like, to me, he just won the title, and basically, he didn't have it that long before he had to vacate it. But it is what it is. I mean, the Vision was basically meant to push Braun Breaker and probably Bronson, probably more to Braun Breaker. But I think the Vision was meant for the younger people. It wasn't meant for like Seth. I know Seth was the heavyweight champion and stuff, but I think it was meant more towards them to help them out. Sort of like how Evolution was supposed to help. Evolution helped Randy and Batista, even though Batista was older than Triple H, but they tried to make it seem like he was younger. I don't know why I always got to say that to y'all, but I'm going to always say that. I like Seth. I hate Seth's clothing choices. Yeah, he definitely be in his wife's closet. And I remember one time he dressed up as something. He looked like a big tongue, pause. And then like Becky looked at him and was like, I'm so jealous. Because, she was doing big time Becks and stuff. Yeah, his clothing is funny, but his wrestling gear be on point though. I ain't gonna lie. I remember one time he dressed up as like Michael Jackson. Hey, that fit was fire. Hey, Seth, whoever did that for you, that was dope. He had he looked good, man. I ain't gonna lie. That was some nice outfits. He's had like video game inspired stuff. He had Chicago Bears inspired. He had Game of Thrones inspired stuff. Like, his gear be fire sometimes. The vision was definitely blurry. Honestly, you should have had Braun as the champ, in my opinion. You should have had one of them. I mean, if they're not going after the tag titles, which they should, like, they should literally obliterate the AJs. The AJ Lee. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. They should literally obliterate these people and win those belts if you're not going to give Braun the belt, honestly. The Vision should probably have been the Shield too. They have a big dog. They could have did something like that. But like I said, it's unfortunate. It's like water under the bridge, dang near, about the situation because of Seth's injury. But still, it is what it is. So I am here in the parking lot, so I am going to let you guys go as I'm waiting for my kids to get here. Thank you guys for rocking with me. Thank y'all for subscribing, watching, and commenting and stuff. Arshawn, no war games. No more war games, okay? No more war games. But hope you guys and gals have a wonderful day. This is Chris Classic. Let's take it home.